Yeah, I know that this is a remake of the film from the 60s, but I haven't seen that version, so I'm just reviewing this movie on its own. But you know what else is a remake of the movie from the 60s and has pretty much the exact same premise as this? Cheaper by the Dozen. You know what else this movie has the exact same plot as? The Brady Bunch. So if you haven't seen any of those, this will be new territory for you. But if you have seen either one or both of those, you're getting more of the same. Now, it is a particularly sweet movie. The kids of various ages all work well off of each other. There's some good humor. But this came out in 2005, which was around the same time as the Steve Martin Cheaper by the Dozen, and you could tell they really took a lot of influence from it. The jokes are very similar, and the kids are written in a very similar way, but the difference is that it doesn't have as much energy as that movie. Like, Steve Martin, he really had a lot of energy in this movie, and the kids were all very memorable and everything, but these kids, they're all kind of generic. Like, I don't remember any character traits about any of these kids, and I get that there's like 20 of them, but even with Cheaper by the Dozen, I kind of remember the personalities of all these kids, but I don't really remember a lot about any of these kids. You know, the jokes in the movie, they're very similar to Cheaper by the Dozen, but just not as funny. And yeah, anyway, but Dennis Quaid and Rene Russo, they're very believable as a couple, and Quaid does bring a lot of charm to this flick. But this movie probably would have worked better if it had been like a rom-com with Quaid and Russo instead of a family comedy. Because once it hits that territory, it's very familiar. It's very safe. If you've seen Cheaper by the Dozen, you're getting pretty much the exact same thing. It's harmless. It has good messages. It's heartwarming. But it's too familiar. It doesn't tread any new ground. It's predictable. It's safe. It gets the job done. But it only does so in a way that feels like it's the bare minimum of effort. So I have to give this version of Yours, Mine, and Ours a B-, a 7.5 out of 10, and a 3.5 out of 5 stars.